Malala's speech at the United Nations.
Dear brothers and sisters, do remember one thing. Malala Day is not my day. Today is a day of every woman, every boy, and every girl who have raised their voice for their rights. There are hundreds of human rights activists and social workers who are not only speaking for their rights, but who are struggling to achieve their goals in peace, education, and equality. Thousands of people have been killed by terrorists and millions have been injured. I am not just one of them. So here I stand, one girl among many. I speak not for myself, but all girls and boys. I raise up my voice, not so that I can shout, but so those without a voice can be heard. Those who have fought for their rights to live in peace, their rights to be treated with dignity, their rights to equality of opportunity, their rights to be educated. Dear friends, on the 9th of October 2012, the Taliban shot me on the left side of my forehead. They shot my friends too. They thought that the bullet would silence us, but they failed. And then out of the silence came thousands of voices. The terrorists thought that they could change my aims to stop my ambitions, but nothing changed in life except this. Weakness, fear, and hopelessness died. Strength, power, and courage were born. I am the same Malala. My ambitions are the same. My hopes are the same. My dreams are the same. Dear brothers and sisters, I am not against anyone. Neither am I here to speak in terms of personal revenge against the Taliban or any other terrorist groups. I am here to speak up for the rights of education of every child. I want education for the sons and daughters of the Taliban and all terrorists and extremists. I do not even hate the Talib who shot me, even if there is a gun in my hand and he stands in front of me. I would not shoot him. This is the compassion that I have learned from Muhammad, the Prophet of Mercy, Jesus Christ, and Lord Buddha. This is the legacy of change that I have inherited from Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, and Muhammad Ali Jinnah. This is a philosophy of nonviolence that I have learned from Gandhiji, Bhagwan, and Mother Teresa. And this is the forgiveness that I have learned from my father and mother. This is what my soul is telling me. Be peaceful and love everyone. Dear sisters and brothers, we realize the importance of light when we see darkness. We realize the importance of our voice when we are silenced. In the same way, when we were at Swat, the north of Pakistan, and we realized the importance of pens and books when we saw the guns. The wise saying, "The pen is mightier than the sword," was true. The extremists were and are afraid of books and pens. The power of education frightens them. They are afraid of women. The power of the voice of a woman frightens them, and that is why they killed 14 students and recently attacked in Quetta. And that is why they killed a female teacher and polio workers in Kaber, Kaput, Kwa, and Fata. That is why they are blasting schools every day, because they were and are afraid of change, afraid of equality that we will bring into our society. I remember that there was a boy in our school who was asked by a journalist, "Why are the Taliban against education?" He answered very simply by pointing to his book. He said, "A Talib doesn't know what is written inside a book. They think that God is a tiny, little, conservative being who would send girls to hell just because of going to school. The terrorists are misusing the name of Islam and Pashtun society for their own personal belief. Pakistan is a peace-loving democratic country. Pashtuns want education for their daughters and sons, and Islam is a religion of peace, humanity, and brotherhood. Islam says that it is not only each child's right to get an education, rather, it is their duty and responsibility. Honorable Secretary General, peace is necessary for education. In many parts of the world, especially Pakistan and Afghanistan, terrorism, war, and conflicts stops children to go to their schools. We are really tired of these wars. Women and children are suffering in many ways in many parts of the world. In India, innocent and poor children are victim of child labor. Many schools have been destroyed in Nigeria. People in Afghanistan have been affected by the hurdles of extremism for decades. Young girls have to do domestic child labor and are forced to get married at an early age. Poverty, ignorance, injustice, racism, and all the deprivation of basic rights are in the main problems faced by both men and women. Dear fellows, today I'm focusing on women's rights and girls' education because they are suffering the most. There was a time when women social activists asked men to stand up for their rights, but this time we will do it by ourselves. I am not telling men to step away for speaking for women's rights. Rather, I am focusing on women to be independent, to fight for themselves. Dear sisters and brothers, now is a time to speak up. So today we call upon the world leaders to change their strategic policies in favor of peace and prosperity. We call upon the world leaders that all peace deals must protect women and children's rights. A deal that goes against the women's rights are unacceptable. We call upon all governments to ensure free, compulsory education all over the world for every child. We call upon all governments to fight against terrorism and violence, to protect children from brutality and harm. We call upon the developing nations to support the expansion of education opportunities for girls in developing world. We call upon all communities to be tolerant, to reject prejudice based on caste, creed, sect, color, religion, or gender, to ensure freedom and equality for women so that they can flourish. We cannot all succeed when half of us are held back. We call upon our sisters around the world to be brave, to embrace the strength within themselves, and realize their full potential. Dear brothers and sisters, we want schools and education for every child's bright future. We will continue our journey to our destination of peace and education. No one can stop us. We will speak up for our rights. We will bring change through our voice. We believe in the power and strength of our words. Our words can change the whole world. Because we are all together, united for the cause of education, and if we want to achieve our goals, then let us empower ourselves with the weapon of knowledge and let us shield ourselves with unity and togetherness. Dear brothers and sisters, we must not forget the millions of people are suffering from poverty, injustice, and ignorance. We must not forget the millions of children are out of schools. We must not forget our sisters and brothers are waiting for a bright, peaceful future. So let us wage a global struggle against illiteracy, poverty, and terrorism. Let us pick up our books and pens. They are our most powerful powerful weapons. One child, one teacher, one book, one pen can change the world. Education is the only solution. Education first. Thank you.